Everybody's aware of the term, all good things come to an end, the end is nigh, and a new era begins. All that jazz. Well, that's the case with what you're about to witness. So, a couple months ago, I used to do these little mini shorts, right, which were all like reviews of certain topics, and I always wore these. They were cool for the time, but to be honest, they're kind of uncomfortable to wear now, and I only see them good for like dancing now. Which is why I got new ones. I present to you Incredi-Brony's reviewing spectacles. So, I'm going to be wearing this every time I do a review because it's all about style, alright? I want to have a difference, you know? Like when I do a gaming video, I have my hoodie. I have these for reviewing. And when I'm doing a reaction, I can just I'm just simply who I am. Good? Well then, let's get into this. How's it going, viewers? Mr. Incredi-Brony's back and he's rolling with the punches, baby. Welcome to a review video, and I'm doing this for a couple of reasons. One, I want to get my opinions on these movies. And number two, this week is potentially the week we're going to be getting the Sonic movie free trailer. And out of all the movies coming out this year, this is one that I'm honestly the most hype about. And honestly the only one as of this case. Because I've already seen the best films so far this year. I've seen Dune Part 2 and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Those are only two. And the new Godzilla film. And these are all basically sequels in a way. It's just the sequels I'm looking forward to. But we've got some terrible sequels like Kung Fu Panda 4 and the new Ghostbusters sequel and the Megamind 2 sequel. Like, let's not talk about any of those right now. But we're talking about Sonic the Hedgehog. So if you've been watching my channel for a long time or just recently you became a new viewer, hi, how's it going? I'm Incredi-Brony, and my all-time favorite video game franchise has to go to the Blue Blur, Blue Justice, fastest thing alive, whatever you want to call him, Sonic the Hedgehog. I know he's a hedgehog, but I like to call him the GOAT. Do you get it? Because GOAT means greatest of all time, and GOAT is also an animal, so Sonic the GOAT. So, you know what I mean, okay? I've been playing his game since I was like 6 years old. I used to play lots and lots of Sonic and the Black Knight in my youth. This was honestly my favorite game on the Wii, and it still is to this day. I have so many memories, and as an adult, I'm more than happy to say that he's my go-to buddy, alright? Whenever I'm feeling a little bit upset and I want to play a game, I play one of his games. Whether it's like Sonic Mania, Sonic Frontier, Sonic Unleashed, Sonic Forces, you name it. Except for the bad ones that almost made me leave the franchise, like Sonic Lost World and Colors and Sonic Boom Rise Alert. Like, let's not talk about those games. Everyone's had their ups and downs. But of course, when the movie was first announced, way back in like 2019, I believe, I wasn't really that interested. Because this was during a time when I just wasn't into Sonic the Hedgehog as I was back then. Because again, I just thought the games went downhill for me personally. But luckily, after the whole infamous original design, which was a monstrosity for all we know, yeah, it was bad. I've seen worse, but yeah, I'm glad that they did actually listen to fans and Paramount actually changed the design. So, whew, we do live in a good world, viewers. We do live in a good world. And, yeah, I still wasn't fully interested because, again, I just wasn't as big as a fan as I was back then. So, when the film finally came out like digitally, I decided to watch it at home. So, I didn't watch it at the cinema, unfortunately, so I couldn't get the full experience. I watched it, and you know what? I really enjoyed it. It was actually quite good. And better than good, I rewatched it a few times before the second film was fully released, and I was really satisfied. I personally fell in love with Sonic again because of the movie. I liked the writing of Sonic, and I think Ben Schwartz does an excellent job voicing him, and he reminded me of the Jason Griffith Sonic that I grew up with, and it didn't remind me of the annoying Roger Craig Smith we got in the Colors era. And I want to say that because because Sonic Colors is when the games for me started to go downhill then. But we've gone uphill recently. Like Sonic Frontiers and Superstars have honestly been so much fun, and I really look forward to the next big Sonic game. And we all know the movie's going to be exciting, so I thought, you know what? Talk about the movies and the Knuckles series, because guess what? I have finally watched that, so I'll do a review of that, of course, after I do the first and second film, but this video's on the first one, so yeah. Let me just talk about it right off the bat. I think the film looks amazing. I think the CGI for Sonic is outstanding, and all the scenes where he's just like running from location to location, or the slow motion scene, I think it's all like a 10 out of 10. And I think the characterization of Sonic is really good. I like how they actually make him this like, they make him like a lonely kid, right? Who's just visited Earth for the first time because he's forced to go there due to his legal guardian who Longclaw the Owl sadly is taken care of from the Kidners, which was a cool little plot point moment, which we do get to see Green Hill Zone, which looked absolutely gorgeous. I really want to live there, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. And yeah, when he's like upset during a baseball game, he just like runs around really fast and causes massive shockwave, causing the government to figure out what's this alien source. And of course, they do call the one and only Dr. Robotnik, played by Jim Carrey. And I'll talk about the character writing later, but I just want to talk about what happens mostly in the plot. So we also introduce the main human characters that Sonic has been watching for a long time, which includes Donut Lord, or Thomas Michael Wachowski, played by James Marsden, and his beautiful wife Maddie, played by Tika Sumpter. And honestly, the human writing is actually really good. I find them really likable, and I think they are a cute couple. And I honestly think James Marsden does a really good job playing like the human companion to a CGI character, because I mean it does help since he was in the movie Hop and he had to deal with another CGI character. But unlike that film, and where it was boring to watch, this film is fun to watch. There's a massive difference here. Okay? And I like James Marsden as an actor. Like, the first time I ever saw him on screen was in the movie Hairspray, because I actually did a performance of that on stage. I wasn't Corny Collins, I got to be Tracy's mother, Edna, which was really a lot of fun. And he does a great job in that film too. In general, I think all the actors do a delightful job in this film. And I think Sonic's relationship with Donut Lord is actually quite cute. I like what they did with them, and I like the adventures they go on. My favorite scene with them was definitely the pub scene where like Sonic is like signing up his bucket list and he was just doing some fun little activities here and there. It was overall a really fun time, and the movie is honestly really funny as well. And I think 80 to 90% of the jokes land for me, really. It didn't feel like an MCU film where the jokes felt unnecessary. They actually felt like they advanced the plot for what it was. And when the conflicts really happened, things did get more juicy. And of course, there were some infamous scenes, like when Sonic did the famous Fortnite thing, you know, the which, to be honest, viewers, don't we all do that when we brush our teeth? When you brush your teeth, you floss. So what's wrong with that? Yeah, I understand that this film is made for kids, but to be honest with y'all, most films made for kids are loved more by adults. So yeah, I don't think that holds this film back in the slightest, really, if I'm being honest with y'all. And we of course get the epic battle with Sonic and Robotnik, which I thought was really cool for what it was. It wasn't as epic as I hoped it would be. It was still really fun for what it was, and I like how at the end it was Tom's like friendship for Sonic that actually gave him the motivation to become like super strong and do this insane electricity move, which I personally hope is in the games now. I mean, it's kind of in Sonic Frontiers, but it's not as epic in my opinion. But still, pretty cinematic thing for what we saw, and yeah, I really enjoyed what the film was, and I like how it teased these tales at the end there after the amazing credits. I love the credit sequence where it's like a fan did it in like full 16-bit, and I honestly wouldn't mind playing a game like that now on my Switch. That would be so much fun. And I love the original song sung by Wiz Khalifa and the other rappers, which was Speed Me Up. I actually have that saved on my Spotify playlist. It's that good of a song, I'm not even joking. And then, of course, we have the reveal at the end that Robotnik is still out there and he's becoming more deranged and crazy, which is what I want to talk about. So that's the movie summed up quickly. I don't want to do a full-on analysis of the film because I feel like that would be boring. So I wanted to talk about things that I enjoyed from the film, things that I just wasn't a huge fan of and overall what I enjoyed. So as far as movie adaptations of beloved video games go, I think this is one of the few where I have to say it's extremely good, but also faithful. It's rare when I think an adaptation is faithful to the source material, but also the fans, because Paramount listened to the fans when they wanted to change the monstrosity original design to an actually much more appealing and attractive design. Yeah, I said it, attractive, okay? Hey, listen, I'm just saying, okay? I'm just saying. And I like the world building they did. I do find it ironic how the film takes place in Green Hills, Montana. That's a really subtle joke there. And there are other references to the games too. I'm pretty sure that the Mushroom Planet is supposed to be Mushroom Hill Zone. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be. And one of the government agents is actually played by Gary Chalk, who I'm pretty certain is the voice of Robotnik in the Sonic Underground TV series from the 90s, where Sonic was voiced by Jaleel White. Yes, Steve Urkel himself was the voice of Sonic in the 90s. It's insane how much they really respect the source material. My favorite visual moment was when and Sonic was running across the Great Wall of China, and when he was like traveling to different worlds using the rings. And speaking of which, I love how the rings are like used to travel to areas, because when you collect the rings in the games, you don't really use them except for buying stuff every now and then. But that's like not most Sonic games in general. But in the movie, they're actually an important plot point. He actually has to use the rings to travel around different areas, including in entire worlds. And one of those scenes involved him running across the Great Wall of China, which really made me smile, because there is a level in Sonic Unleashed which is literally him running across the Great Wall of China at some point, which is the level Chunat. So I don't know that was in a reference to that, but I did find it to be a reference to that in my personal opinion. And the film also has some really hilarious moments too. One of the funniest moments was when Sonic had to, like, he saved this turtle and then had a little run with him, and the turtle had this really cute smile, and then he accidentally dropped it, but then he quickly saved it. And then there was a scene where we talk about this guy called Crazy Carl who drew a Sonic drawing. That caught me off guard, and I thought it was really funny. And there's also a couple of side characters like Wade, played by Adam Pally, who was really funny. Like my favorite line by him is when he was like, so some guys came in and they were kind of scary. They kind of remind me of the guys from Men in Black, but not as likable or charming as Will Smith. That was really funny. And I also loved Agent Stone, played by Lee Majdu. Like, sorry if I pronounced that wrong. His and Robotnik's relationship is adorable. I think it might be one of the best bromances in history, and the second film does confirm that they are basically in some sort of bromance, because he literally makes a coffee with hearts on it. Like, he literally is in love with Robotnik. It's a fact. Why else does he yell, "He's back"? You know they're lovers, and you ship it, and so do I. And yeah, there's just overall a lot of funny moments here and there. The interaction with Robotnik and Donut Lord was also really funny. When they mentioned when Robotnik mentioned something about him being an orphan or something. I forgot how the line went, but it mentioned him being an orphan. I thought that was kind of funny the way he said it. Which reminds me, I overall give this film an 8 out of 10. I think overall it's a really good and fun movie, and I find it very enjoyable, entertaining to watch, and I never feel that bored of it that much. The reason why I give it an 8 is because I do have a couple nitpicks and a couple negatives as well. One negative I will say is I'm not a fan of the way Robotnik is portrayed throughout majority of it. Listen, I love Jim Carrey, I really do. I love pretty much almost every one of Jim Carrey's films, but to be honest, when I heard he was going to be playing Eggman, I was hoping he would give him the character persona of what Jim Carrey did in the movie The Cable Guy. Now, if you haven't seen that film, The Cable Guy is, in my opinion, Jim Carrey's I think his best acted role, because he does an excellent job being super creepy in that film. If you haven't seen it, please watch The Cable Guy. He is absolutely nightmare fuel in that film, and I honestly wouldn't mind seeing him fight against like Chucky and Freddy Krueger and Leatherface. I really would love to see that. But in this film, he kind of acts like his character from Dumb and Dumber, with a bit of Mask and maybe a little of Ace Ventura, which, don't get me wrong, they're great films, but when it comes to Eggman, I want to see him being a threatening villain with a touch of comedy, not mostly comedy, with slight thing. Although I do like how he kind of sees the world as like society is like failed him, because again, he does mention he was an orphan and he sees machines as superior to humans. I do like that change of him, because we don't really see that side of him in the games at all. So I do like some things with him, but overall, I don't think the movie works mostly with Robotnik. I think it just works better with Sonic's relationship with Donut Lord, and overall the visuals as well. But the second film does fix Robotnik and make him much more threatening, and I think Jim Carrey does a much better role in the second film. That's my biggest complaint with the first film overall. Oh, and there are some plot holes that I find confusing. Like, I don't know how Tom knew where the Mushroom Planet was. Like, he just threw the ring and then Mushroom Planet. He didn't say Mushroom Planet. I don't even think Sonic explains what that place is. So it just felt like a plot convenient moment, really. And whilst you can argue that Sonic could have dodged the bullets or the tranquilizer dart, I think he intentionally wanted to get hit so he can actually hang out with him. But I think him accidentally saying San Francisco was just that was the plot convenient moment, him saying San Francisco. Other than that, though, just little moments here and there that I thought were a little bit confusing. I overall had a really good time with the film. 8 out of 10, like I said, and I think it's one of the most faithful movie adaptations of a video game franchise. And since it's my favorite video game franchise, Sonic, of course, I think they did a great job. And I was really hyped for the second film, which I'm going to be reviewing in the next video. So viewers, comment down below, what do you think of this film? How would you rate it? Do you think it's the most faithful adaptation and based on source material? Comment down below. And any complaints you have or positives, leave me, I would like to know. And viewers, if you think the Sonic Movie 3 trailer is coming this week, you know for a fact I'll be reacting to it. So, see you all then. If you enjoyed this particular video, leave a like on it. Don't forget to subscribe. If you're interested, follow me on Instagram. And until then, stay positive, keep calm, stay safe, be incredible. And as always, Brony on. Peace.